being here. Uh, I'll ask, just while I'm saying hello, Adam, if you can just watch the waiting room and bring people in, that would be great.
On it.
Amazing. So hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Simon. I'm the camp director, executive director of the Jewish Camp Council, and super excited to be talking camp again. So much fun. January is one of my favorite months because it's time to turn the corner and start thinking about camp again and getting everybody back there. So super excited to have all of you here. I love that we're seeing so many campers on the screen. We have some brothers and sisters and moms and dads. And I think as I'm scrolling through the screen, I might even see some boobies and zadies, and I'm sure aunts and uncles and more. So welcome to everyone. Before we get going, I'm just going to do a quick introduction. Some people might join late that we might want to introduce at a later stage. But very quickly, I'm going to turn it over to Adam to say hello and introduce himself. And then Adam, you can bounce it over. And if we'll see who Denise can bounce it over to after that.
Hi, everyone. For those that have not had the pleasure to meet yet, I'm Adam. I'm the Associate Director here at camp. And, like Simon was saying, it's just exciting, very exciting to just be able to talk about camp. It's been a while. It's been a while since we all connected too. So I'm happy we're able to get together tonight. And I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see a lot of familiar faces coming to Northland for the first time. We've connected in former lives, so it's great to see you here tonight as well. Welcome to the Northland family, to all of our new families joining tonight. I am going to pass it off to the amazing Denise. And go ahead, Denise.
Thanks, Adam. And I'm Denise Harris. I'm the Administrative Director. I was a camper, I was a staff member, and I've been really happy to be able to work with Camp Northland and the community for many, many years. I want to thank everybody for joining our family and joining this evening. It's so exciting to see familiar faces, new faces, and I just want to say thank you. I applaud you all for making the decision to join us this coming summer. We're very excited, and you're going to hear a lot of exciting news tonight, and we'll be in touch throughout the spring and get you ready for camp this summer. So I don't know if Daniela or anyone has joined, so I'll pass it back to Simon.
Daniela's here.
Oh, hi, Daniela.
Hi, I snuck in. Hi, everybody. My name's Daniela Aptowitzer. I'm the Director of Wellness at the camp. I'm a social worker by trade, and my job up at camp is to support campers and staff and parents and help make sure that everybody's social and emotional and behavioral needs are as well met as we can, and to help ensure that everybody has a safe and happy and successful summer. This is my 8th summer at the camp, and I'm proud to say I have 3 boys who attend the camp as well. My husband is an alumni. We're very much a pro, yay, we love Northland family. So I'm very happy to be here tonight. And I think I saw Stacia on the call. So Stacia, if you're here, one of my partner in
Hi,
crime.
Daniela.
Hi.
Hi, Camp Northland families. My name is Stacia Wall. I have a similar last name to Simon Wall. I happen to be his wife. I'm also part of the camper and staff wellness team. This is my 6th summer at camp. I am so excited. I love it. I'm proud to be one of the camp moms as well. Outside of camp, I've been a guidance counselor at CHAT for the last 17 years. So basically, whether it's the summer or during the year, I'm all about working with families and making sure that their children have the most incredible experience, whether it's during school or at camp. I work very closely as well in supporting our staff, both our local and our international staff that come and are part of our Camp Northland family. I am so excited. This is the first year I'm no longer a camp parent. All 3 of our boys are now going to be staff at Camp Northland. So even our dog Splash has a job. He takes care of your children as well, We are all about Camp Northland. We are heart and soul, our family. We have jumped in with everybody with 2 feet and Splash, of course, with 4. And we are so excited to welcome your children to Camp Northland and to have the most incredible experience that they could imagine in Halliburton, a beautiful Moose Lake. So I hope you guys are getting excited, and I really look forward to welcome you into camp this summer. So stay safe. And I guess, is there any other staff that I should throw to, or should I throw it back to you, Simon? Okay, back to you, Simon. Have a great night, everybody.
All right. Okay, so these are a few of the faces that we want people to be familiar with, so you know sort of a little bit of the who's going to be there, helping to take care of everybody during the summer. And obviously there's going to be more and more opportunities to meet and interact and make these connections. This is just a quick hello. Just a quick check, because there's like 7 or 8 screens now, and I think we're approaching 7. I just want to know if Laura Title happens to be here. Say hello. Okay, well, we have another member of the camper staff and wellness team. I know she's attending we have a staff meeting tonight after this meeting, so she's probably with her family right now. And just curious if Marissa is on the call, just to say hello, and she's not. But if you don't know Marissa, she's part of our full-time team, and she helps in the development and fundraising part of camp. Okay, cool, so let's jump in. The goal for tonight is really just to reconnect, and start the next steps of the journey, taking us into the spring and then summer, and for the next best summer of everybody's lives, and get excited about camp and also answer any questions that you have. So we'll definitely make sure we leave some time for questions. I think we're scheduled for 1 hour, I believe, give or take. So we will make sure that we will end at 1 hour. That's the plan, and within that time frame, answer any questions that you might have. So I think the first topic we wanted to talk about today is just reinforcing the overall structure of camp. So in case people don't know, we decided to at the end of last year, when we set our dates for this summer and our sessions for this coming summer, to go with one single point of entry. Because we anticipated, for better or for worse, that COVID considerations would still be a part of summer 22. And certainly it turns out that was, a fortuitous good decision, because it helps to position us for an easier transition, into a COVID-safe environment for everybody, like we did last year. And last year, the planning proved to be effective and appropriate, and helped us to have what really the reports back from everybody that we're talking to. We're in the middle of staff interviews right now, and every single staff member we meet will tell us from their perspective that really it's been the best summer of their entire experience, 2021. And they look forward to 2022. And a lot of the campers and families we've met with have been telling us similar stories. So we're following a very similar model, which is now tried, tested, and true, and then building on that. So we're happy that that's the setup that we have. This hasn't been an easy year for anybody. We know that. We're coming into this meeting hoping that all of our families, all of you are safe and healthy, and doing everything you can to manage through these very difficult times, especially for all of our kids. As best as you can. And we're going to do our part to make sure that the summer contributes in the most positive way to that experience. And that's always been our goal. So we're going to continue with that. Our baseline for this summer is a very similar model to last summer, and then which basically means a single point of entry, limiting visitors to essential visitors only, having rigorous testing protocols in the event that anybody needs to enter camp for one reason or another, but general visitation not allowed. And then, as we get closer, if the world somehow rights itself or things get better, then we'll revisit that. But that's our starting point of how we're going into our planning for the summer. And if we make any changes, we'll communicate with you. One of the things that we really pride ourselves on, and certainly the families that have been with us year over year, I think will attest to the fact that we are always transparent. We always tell it like it is, and we always make sure that we are doing proactive communication as best we can, whenever we can. So that's what that's still our promise to you, and that's our goal leading into the summer and through the summer. With that said, we expect, no one has a crystal ball, but we do expect that there will be, COVID related protocols again leading up to the summer. So that likely could mean some level of sort of social contract with all of us, that there's some quarantine or isolation in advance of camp to mitigate and prevent any COVID from entering camp with reasonable expectations around that, because we know people have to go to work, etc. We expect that there will be some type of testing protocol, and we're well positioned to put that back into place because we planned it all last year and have kept all of that in the planning for this year. And some level of PPE will likely play a role in camp, but we don't know how yet. So for everyone out there, especially the kids, that means masks could be a part of the summer in some points. We don't know yet what that will look like, so we'll have to see. Luckily, we did everything right last year, and public health allowed us to have a pretty normal summer for most of summer 2021 in the middle of all the craziness. So we hope to position ourselves again to give all of that social interaction and community building experience that we gave everybody last summer. Adam, is there anything you wanted to add on that?
No, I think you kind of summed that up well. The only thing I'll add, especially for new families or potential new families, is to Simon's last point there, is last summer, even with all the protocols and then, it was like all the testing to come in and the mask in the first couple of weeks. Like Simon said earlier, it was all of our best summer we've had in a long, long time, maybe ever, and a very normal experience. And we're looking forward to an even better one somehow this year. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, and listen, I think the greatest testament to the summer we had last year and to the importance of camp this year for everybody is that the camp is completely sold out. We do have a wait list, and we know that there are some people joining this Zoom that are on the wait list, and we're so glad that you're here. And we're so glad that you're continuing to put your hope and confidence in the camp. And I'm happy to say that over the last couple of months, we have been able to find ways to get many people who are on the wait list into camp. And we will continue to do so to the best of our ability. Our goal is to get anybody into camp that we can. We just physically have to have a bed. So that's what we're working on. And in some cases, we've actually opened new cabins. In other cases, we've been able to sort of do some relocations and reassessment of the site to make to allow for more space in more sections and units. And we're going to continue to be as creative as we can to continue what has really been very positive progress getting through the wait list. It doesn't mean I can guarantee that everybody will have a spot, but I can guarantee that we're going to do everything we can to try to make it happen for as many people as possible. So we're glad you're here and getting this information. If you're on a wait list and you're getting really restless because you have to make some other decisions or you're hitting a deadline with another option, then please reach out to us. Maybe Adam, if you don't mind, just throw an email in the chat. So if you want to reach out to us, most of you have our email, certainly on our website, but if not, it'll be in the chat. And just let us know your situation, what you're trying to, sort of your timeline, what you need, and we'll just do our best to give you the information that we can for you to make an informed decision and go from there. Okay. Awesome. So I thought it might be fun. Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
No, I was going to add a note openly that I put into the chat as well. Is that feel free to add your questions to the chat at any point. We'll be answering them throughout. We'll definitely save time at the end to get to as many as we can. And we'll, depending on what we're talking about, we have some things we want to let you know about. We'll try and get to some during the night as well. Okay. Thanks. Sorry, Simon, go ahead.
Cool. So I wanted to talk about some of the, just a few of the new things that have been happening at camp in this off season. For those of you that have been there before, you'll have something to compare to, and for those of you who haven't, it'll still be interesting. But to create some context for it, I thought it might be best to start just with sort of like what's a typical day for a camper in camp, and because I know we got looks like lots and lots of kids on the Zoom here. So let's
By the way,
talk
that
about
was
that.
the first question you got was, can you share a day in the life?
Okay, well there you go. Here we are, a day in the life. The thing that's so incredible about camp is that every day is actually different for everybody. And every day for every camper is different than the day before and different than the day after. But there's still some predictability and structure to the program. So looking at it at a very high level, the campers are going to be basically having, a sleepover, with 10 to 12 people that are likely going to become lifetime friends, and they get to have that sleepover every night. And then they wake up in the morning, and when they wake up in the morning, there's going to be a chance, to wash up, brush your teeth, and then you're going to have a meeting, a little get together. We call it roundup, where everybody gets together and you hear about what your day is going to look like, and you'll be super excited about the types of programs that you're going to do during the day. And then you're going to go off and have an awesome breakfast with a whole bunch of other people in our awesome big dining hall. The food's been really good, and you're going to have lots of choice at the meals, and then you're going to have the opportunity to go to activities after breakfast. And the activities, the camp is just full of activities. And if you haven't checked out our video on our website, you should check it out, because on the website, there's a 6-minute video that answers a lot of questions, but also shows you the camp and talks about some of the programs and activities. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already seen that. And so you're going to go to some activities. I'll just name a few. There's rock climbing, there's high ropes and low ropes for team building, there's archery. And by the way, if you don't know how to do any of these things, that's okay, because we teach everybody what you need to know. So archery, we have a full-size ball hockey arena where we also play other fun games. Could be dodgeball or other creative games on the ball hockey arena. We have a incredible music program. We have drama. We have arts and crafts. We have every sport you can think of. From we call it froth, which is frisbee golf. To soccer and baseball. We have 2 baseball diamonds, and all the sports that you can play on a field, of course. We have water skiing and tubing, and we have sailing and canoeing and kayaking and swimming in the beautiful lake. And if you've never swam in a lake before, and that's on your mind, the lake at camp is incredible. And I mean incredible. It is, first of all, if you're the type of person who doesn't like to step into sort of icky, mushy water, you don't have to worry, because the lake at Camp Northland is beautiful sand, where you step in and it's comfortable. And in fact, the water is so clean that you can stand on the dock and see all the way to the bottom on most days. So it's and what you see when you look at the bottom is beautiful sand all the way across. So it's pretty awesome. And everyone should feel super comfortable with the lake, because that's what you have to look forward to. It's incredible. And other what did I miss? Adam, Denise, I just threw off a little random list. Anything obvious that I missed there?
I love watching the people on their bikes going down the trails throughout the camp with their helmets and big smiles on their face, and not having to worry about traffic or cars or people. And it's just the whole cabin just going down one of the many paths in camp in the fresh air, and it's laughing and singing songs, meeting at different places. Beach volleyball, we've had some really great tournaments to look at. I mean, it's endless hikes and looking at the different mushrooms and the beautiful trees. It's endless possibilities at camp.
Yeah, so you just reminded me also, we do overnights and trips to our sites across the lake. We have incredible hiking that happens. So all of that, lots of wilderness. We have outdoor living skills. We have an incredible interwoven Judaics program where people will learn all about building Jewish um, uh, identity and values and connecting different experiences in their lives to different Jewish values and how that sort of ties into some of the goals of camp and building community. Um, Adam, you look like you're about to talk.
Yeah. I even cleared my throat, but that was on mute. So good for you. We've been on Zoom together a lot the last couple of years. No, all I was going to say, I had a message come in, and just to elaborate a little bit on some of the artistic activities that we have. So we, Simon touched on some of them, but just to go a little deeper on them, we have an incredible arts and crafts program. That's a big part of our camp, and the arts and crafts building is kind of I say central hub. It's not centrally located, but it's a big hub of camp with a lot of things going through there. We hope to last year took a little bit of a pause due to some of the protocols we had in place, but it's an incredible ceramics program as well. That we have a kiln that relatively in the last 8 to 10 years or so that I made my wife a beautiful mug a couple of years ago for our anniversary. That she agreed is our camp mug, so it stays there at camp. But it came out really good. We also have, and this too took a bit of a pause last year, an incredible woodworking program as well that we try and implement when we can and when we have the staff that have the expertise for that. The kids come home with incredible little tables, and best yet, they come home with the skill set to build one at home and work with their siblings and their parents to maybe build some stuff. That's in our arts and crafts center. We have an incredible dance and drama program where we put on shows throughout the year, dance shows. Pre-COVID, and we hope this will be back soon. We take part in inter-camp dance competitions with a lot of camps in Ontario. So that's also a big part of it. We also have in most years a fun cooking program as well, where the kids learn some cooking skills and some culinary arts as well. So that's just kind of broad strokes about, no pun intended, of our arts programs at camp. Hopefully that gave you a little more insight.
Awesome. So just to put that into perspective, we're now at lunch. Okay. So in the morning, you're going to do 2 or 3 of those different activities to choose from. So maybe you wake up in the morning, you didn't know how to sail. By 11 o'clock, suddenly you now know how to sail. And then, you might have never shot a bow and arrow, but then you will. And then you'll go and have lunch. And any of those other activities. The meals at camp, we have all kinds of different choices. So the meals themselves, are diverse and varied, and like anything, there are going to be some meals that like some kids love and some meals that some kids don't love, but we always try to give different options and make sure that most kids love most meals. So a meal might be grilled cheese and a garden salad with some veggie sticks on the side, as an example. There might be a shepherd's pie. There might be an outdoor barbecue with burgers and hot dogs and salad and fries or chips, that kind of thing. There's also, grilled chicken sandwiches, or we have Italian sandwiches, Italian chicken sandwiches as they're known, as well, which another option. We have different pastas that are served as well. We have, those are just some examples. So it's just a diverse and varied menu, a combination of meat and non-meat meals that are kosher. We also accommodate special diets. So if someone is vegetarian or gluten-free or has a special dietary need of some kind, especially if there's a known allergy, we have a special window and someone who helps to manage those special diets and accommodations. So that's a little overview of the meals, and then you sort of finish your meal, and then you have a rest hour, and the rest hour it's sort of different depending on age. So with the younger kids, it's a real enforced rest hour. And as they get older, it's, it sort of evolves from rest hour to free time and sort of a little bit of chill time. And then you start activities again. So that whole list that we went through before, you're going to do 2 or 3 more of those activities, and then you'll have dinner. And then after dinner, you have a little bit of free time. And then every night there's an evening program. And the evening program is basically a creative, fun program designed by the counselors and staff and head staff, geared specifically for that particular age group. And it's just a ton of fun. So it's sort of like a night out with your friends, organized by the staff. And then depending on age, there's a bit of a wind down and a reflection on the day. And then it's time to get ready for bed, or if they're a little older, maybe it's a little bit of relaxed time in the cabin or section and unit. So that's sort of like a typical day. Other unique days might include things like, hobbies, where people can sign up. Again, some of these things depend on the COVID-related protocols that we can put in place or can't put in place. But in a normal summer, we would have hobbies where kids can sign up and choose something they're really interested in and do that 3 or 4 extra times in a certain week in their schedule. We also have special days and half days, and those are just creative, sometimes camp-wide programs where the whole camp gets to interact. We often have flagpole. Most days we have something that we call flagpole or mifkad, which is a chance basically to create a community vibe on a daily basis. So I probably should have included that in the typical day. That's just a chance for announcements and silly skits and fun things to do together as a camp community. Sometimes I tell dad jokes there. That's sort of what my sad. If you're a staff member, you would say my sad contribution. But I know that all the kids love it, so don't tell me otherwise. I have no doubt. I was just thinking that I actually know a chemistry joke, but I don't think I'd get a reaction from this crowd. Thank you. I'll be here all night. Okay. So that's I think that takes us through a typical day. Other things are like the Shabbat experience. So the Shabbat experience is super special at camp, where we are going to connect basically, the experience they're having at camp to values that are important for us as a camp. And those include things like tikkun olam, making the world a better place, tzedakah, how do you be charitable and give back, the values of family and community, shalom bayit, making peace, finding ways to problem solve. All of those types of things form part of the value proposition of Camp Northland. And Shabbat is an incredible way to formally tie it together. So we do an oneg Shabbat. So an age group will have the opportunity to sort of prepare during the week. It could be a song or a skit or a fun presentation to bring in Shabbat for the camp. And leading up to the Shabbat dinner on Friday night, the whole camp dynamic changes. We go into Shabbat preparation mode. So first of all, there's lots of choice and options for kids to choose different programs on Friday afternoon that they're interested in. And we do that again with sort of an age-appropriate level of independence. The CITs, the counselors in training, often use that opportunity to practice and exercise their leadership training. So they might run certain stations that the whole camp gets to benefit from on that Friday afternoon. And it's tons of fun where the kids can just rotate around and experience that. And the counselors in training get to have some leadership opportunities. We have a traditional Shabbat dinner, a little bit of, the Oneg Shabbat, a song or two, some roast chicken and chicken soup and roast potatoes and some grape juice and that sort of thing. And we have kiddush and candle lighting, myself or sometimes a head of Judaics or a rabbi who may be in camp or other leaders who want to share a story might share a story of some kind to connect camp to Shabbat and some value-driven thinking. And then, Friday night, there's an evening program where we try to incorporate some level of Jewish identity building where we can into that program. And Saturday changes completely. Saturday is where we do our special days that are community building days. which breaks the normal routine to sort of honor Shabbat in a different way. And that's, the day so that could be something like a superhero day, or someone's gone missing, and we, as a camp, as a goal, we have to find them, and there's clues and events and activities, or an Olympics, or that sort of type of programming throughout the day. And then it ends with a beautiful Havdalah. And the Havdalah is, again, it's driven by building confidence and pride in Jewish identity and Jewish thought. And it's about storytelling. It's about a collective experience. It's about building community. We do some songs. We do some of the traditional blessings, a bit of an abbreviated version, traditional blessings, and some just fun songs. And we often break out the guitar and enjoy the beautiful opportunity to be out together as a camp with the most incredible stars in the sky that you'll ever see, and enjoy the time together and appreciate what we have. So it's a time for reflection. So that's sort of a very big overview of a typical day. To introduce the idea, there's a few new things that we've already put into place for camp. And some of those things, I don't know, Adam, did you want to talk about some of them while I take a drink of water?
No problem. And by the way, to everyone asking the questions in the chat, keep them coming. We're doing our best to answer some in the chat, some out loud. So just keep them coming. Hopefully, you found this helpful. But yeah, I'll get that started with a couple of things we're really excited about. So I'll highlight a couple of them, and I'll let Simon get into some of the cool infrastructure and some other cool facility updates going on. But a couple of programmatic things I want to mention. One is we got a very new pontoon called a tri-tune. Okay, for those of you with boat knowledge, more boat knowledge than me, you'll understand what that means. But it's a kind of a souped-up version of our pontoon boat that we've had over the last number of years, and we're really excited about it because it's actually designed where it can go tubing, and therefore we're very excited to announce that we're actually splitting off skiing and tubing this year, and tubing is going to be its own specialty this year. And what's great about that is it will give more kids more opportunities to both ski and tube this year. And so we're very excited about that. And so look for those of you that have been to camp before, get excited. For those brand new, believe me, you'll be happy to know that when you see, now twice in your week, you're going to have tubing, skiing, and maybe even more than that. And so we're excited about that and to bring that to camp. And the staff are really pumped about that. Because a couple of them have actually been asking, a couple of our ski staff have been asking for that for a couple of years now. So we're excited to do that. And we also have, this is going to, it's kind of an Ontario government style update in that I have an announcement about a future announcement in that we have some really cool new programs coming down the line. We're going to keep it a surprise for now and announce it to all the kids a little bit later, hopefully around the springtime. But there are some really cool stuff that we'll be putting in different areas around camp to just, infuse just some brand new fun activities and programs and facilities throughout camp. So get excited for that. It's a little teaser, and we'll provide more details as the months and weeks get closer to camp.
All right, cool. So there's also, some other stuff that, might be more interesting to some of the parents than some of the campers, but you never know. There are all kinds, all kinds of changes happening on the infrastructure of camp as well. So things like massive security upgrades to the camp. Now, we've always been sort of at the leading edge of the security in the Canadian camping world, and often consult and are asked to consult for other camps. So this is not new for us, but we're continuing that focus. So things like we've added motion activated perimeter lighting in key locations around the camp. We've added community focused lighting. So if we ever have to really light things up around camp, we now have security lighting capacity to do that. We put in PA systems for easier contact, both for operations and also for emergencies or security. We've also we've put in a security booth at the gate. So there's already a gate to enter camp, but there's now actually a security booth for presence and deterrence up at the camp, which will be, at times occupied as needed with security, and other times serve as a deterrent. And that is actually going to have live camera feed going forward as well. So we'll have cameras and recorded images in different locations around camp. Not secret or hidden cameras for our community, but certainly intentionally visible as a deterrent and capturing information if necessary. We've also closed off, sort of alternative entries to camp. So anywhere, for example, like even through the woods where a vehicle may have been able to at one point get around our gate is now closed and blocked. So there's only one way in and one way out in a vehicle. And the other thing that's super exciting for everyone is that we're embarking on a 5 to 10 year or longer capital improvement project to camp. So we're actually now shifting into a building phase of Camp Northland with some awesome infrastructure improvements likely to happen year over year. And we're going to start to see just the tip of that this summer with likely some new cabins coming up into camp and some other smaller things to start. But that's really exciting as well. And for anyone who was at camp last year and knows that we put in this massive event tent between the dining hall and the beach. We had a big event tent there. Often in the rain, that became a bit of a swamp. So we have now regraded all of that, and there is now a gravel base. So we'll have the use of that outdoor event tent in all kinds of different weather now, without worrying about getting muddy or wet. So that is fun, and we have learned our lesson. So that's another fun change, and we'll just keep updating you with fun things because things are happening now between now and the summer every day. So we'll keep giving you updates with a lot of focus being on fun programming stuff, like Adam said, which we're going to sort of tease out between now and the summer. Awesome. Really, there are only just two other points that we wanted to mention before we go right into Q&A for the balance of our time together. And, one is that we just want everyone to know that we're putting a renewed focus in camp on mental, emotional, social, and spiritual health of our campers and staff. This is why we're investing in our camper and staff wellness team. We're going to be adding more and more resources to that space. We're going to be proactive in doing what we can to help all of these kids and staff have all of the strength and support they need to, as best as we can, to help navigate through the crazy times that all of us are experiencing right now. So that's going to have increased focus and presence at camp. Not only at the professional level, but also at the programmatic level. So thinking about, for example, something like a yoga or meditation or learning to breathe on the dock, to relax yourself, understanding a little bit more about anxiety, those types of things, which time permitting, maybe Daniela would want to throw a word in or two. But that's exciting, and we're excited and we're committed to long-term investment and commitment in that space. And that likely will extend at some level year-round. Danielle, is there anything you wanted to say on that right now?
Well, just that part of, I think, what makes Northland special is the idea that we're proactive and reactive. So we want to be very planned to support our campers in advance as best we can. And as things come up, to work with families and campers and staff to make sure everybody has what they need. And, what Simon was talking about is we're really looking through a wellness lens to incorporate it in a broader scale around camp. So if you're doing an arts and crafts activity that's maybe a paint night, we can talk about, how engaging in these activities that make you feel great and help calm your brain, or through art you can find comfort and take care of yourself. And so looking at how through our different amazing activities at camp, that there's always a lens of wellness. So if you're waiting for your boat ride for ski, sitting on the dock and appreciating nature, or before you start an activity, talking about what you're grateful for at those times. So really looking at how we can incorporate wellness for campers and staff, especially given the challenging years that we have had, and that this is a really important focus that helps people year round.
Awesome. The last point that I wanted to make, then I see there's just in passing, I saw the word vaccination come up a bunch of times in the chat, so I'll mention that as well. So I'll just talk about two quick things. One is, we have, through, support and incredible generosity of our community, we have scholarship funds available for this summer for what we hope will be anyone who needs help to make camp accessible. If anyone out there is struggling or needs some support, some scholarship assistance, we have sent an email to everybody with the links and information, and we encourage you to apply. It's there for you, and we, our whole mission is to ensure that camp is accessible and remains accessible, to all Jewish children, to all children that want to be a part of this Jewish identity building experience. We never want money or a barrier related to finances to be the reason someone can't come to camp. So please do take advantage of that opportunity. It's there to benefit all of us in this community, and we want you to use it if you need it. So please take advantage. And I'll just touch quickly on vaccination. So, people are starting to see, some initial vaccination policies surfacing. Recently a day camp put one out. A couple overnight camps have pushed out policies. We're, as always, we're being very intentional and very cautious in our planning. We're very fortunate. We have a medical advisory team of 13 medical doctors that we meet with regularly, that we discuss all medical related issues, and who helped us, really plan through this entire COVID context of camp, and are continuing to do so. Our board of directors just recently did give the medical advisory committee the mandate to draft a vaccination policy. So that will be coming out shortly. I don't know, I can't say shortly or soon, but that is in the works to come out. But I will say this, the idea here is that you can expect that there will be some level of vaccination protocols and policies inside camp. We don't yet know exactly what the language will be, but if anyone on the Zoom or registered for camp does not intend to get vaccinated, you should reach out to us immediately so we can have that conversation. There's a very good likelihood that that policy will require vaccinations. So I'm putting that out there, and we'll publish the language as soon as the medical advisory team gives that to us as a recommendation. Okay, so that's sort of where that is at this point. Okay, so I say we take 10 minutes and go to questions. What have we missed?
We've tried to get to as many as we could, but we may have missed from just the chat moving. So please either unmute if you'd like, although there are a lot of people here, or throw into the chat, and we're happy to answer. Yes,
I saw one just pop up, which was, does that include booster? So that's the kind of language that we just need the medical advisory team to give to us before we can push out the policy for everyone to see. And that's why I'm saying that you can expect that there will be some level of expected vaccination. I just don't know the language that the doctors are going to use. Does that include a booster? Does it not? I would say that in all likelihood, an unvaccinated child will not be able to attend camp unless their particular case has been reviewed by our medical team and they've made a decision on whether or not that exemption is appropriate.
One thing I just wanted to mention, if anyone's still thinking of questions, I just wanted to give everyone a heads up, another teaser, to stay tuned for news about a upcoming camper event that's going to be in February. So just keep a lookout for that. Plans are underway for a fun virtual event for all of our campers, and both new and returning, and which we're excited about. So I just want to give a little teaser about that.
Yeah, I see that there was a question, how many campers will there be? So we expect that camp will start with about 550 campers, give or take. There will probably be close to 200 staff on site. So Camp Northland is going to be a small village, and we're so excited for it. But by the way, some people find, the big number really exciting, and some people hear the big number and are a little bit intimidated. And I want to tell you that the structure of Camp Northland, one of the many beautiful things about Camp Northland, is that the structure of the camp, because it's built so tightly in villages by age, you don't feel the size in any negative way. All that happens is that you have more people to interact with if you choose to. So no one should be afraid of the camp being a large camp, because it still feels very small, but it has all the benefit of being big. All right, are there other questions? Yeah, again, so there's some details being asked about the vaccination policy, and until I have that policy recommendation from the doctors, I can't tell you what those details will be. I do know that the discussion so far has been around really the general idea that anyone who's eligible to be vaccinated is probably going to need to be for camp. We also think, and a lot of the doctors think, that is likely going to be, that it could even be mandated, although no one knows that information. There's certainly a lot of talk about that, that there could be some government mandates around that for congregational settings like ours, like a camp. And certainly, I can tell you that at the Ontario camps level overall, the general vibe is that that's where many, if not most, camps are going. I see a program question about whether it's going to be Olympics or the Northland Games this year. Listen, one of the amazing things about camp is that we allow our staff to be empowered with building our programs. So when the staff are in place that are going to be doing the programming, and our senior leadership team is involved, and then we start to do some brainstorming and camp planning, a lot of those program details are going to be decided. Have I missed any questions? I'm just scrolling through, but feel free to jump in if I'm...
Yeah, again, if you wrote your question earlier, we missed it for whatever reason, please don't hesitate to re-add it, or we may have just missed it.
Oh, I saw a question. I'm not sure if it was answered, but I remember seeing a question as to whether or not we have instructional swim.
So I addressed it, but feel free to elaborate. I addressed it in the chat, but feel free to elaborate if you like.
So what have you said already, Adam?
So I talked about how traditionally it is an important and great part of our swim program. And last year, due to our cohorting protocols, we pivoted a little bit, and while we kind of restructured the scheduling of when cabins go to swim, and when they were at swim for a free swim, our amazing swim staff, most of which are coming back, by the way, built in some swim education in fun ways into their programming. So to still keep, building those skills and comfort level in the water, they continue that. But as for, a certified swim instruction program, at most levels, we were not able to offer it. Simon, John, I think we ended up offering it for the high levels, correct? For bronze?
Yeah, we did end up offering a bronze cross course that we facilitated, and then we were able to manage that despite the cohort limitations earlier. So we put that into place, and we actually completed that testing after camp as a courtesy, sort of working with those families to get that done. So yeah, listen, I mean, in a normal summer, historically, we have had mandatory instructional swim following the life-saving system or life-saving society system up until grade 7. Again, we'll look at our model this year and see what we can and can't do with the COVID plan and all of that. And then our goal is always to do instructional swim when we can, because we believe it's a life skill that's important for all children. So when we can, we like to do it. We couldn't do it last year.
I also would like, if you don't mind, Simon, I'd like to mention that our standards and of qualifications for our swim staff are the highest and more than what is recommended for, I think, lake and overnight camps. So all of our waterfront staff have to have certain high standards, but our swim staff have to be qualified life-saving instructors and lifeguards as well. So we have really high standards for all of the people who work on our waterfront.
Yeah, thanks, Denise. I mean, our ratios far exceed any required or recommended ratios on supervision. Always, our staff are, all of our waterfront staff have NLS or reviewed and acceptable equivalent. So all of that is a highly, the whole waterfront is a highly supervised and structured environment. I thought I saw a question that I missed there. Yeah, do we have international?
Oh, I see. Okay. Skiing.
International staff. Yeah, we have lots of international staff. We expect that we're going to have a huge mishlachat this year, or a group contingency from Israel within our international staff, which is really exciting. I wouldn't be surprised if it's as many as even 15 staff members coming from Israel, which is super amazing. We also have 2 Shinshinim from the Toronto community that are coming. And sometimes we even get just some, family and friends from Israel who apply to come to camp. So always exciting to bring as much connectivity to Israel as we can throughout the summer. I see there's a lot of great program questions, like, are we going to have, the camp dance team again, the ski questions, and the answer is, we want to do as much as we can do. Our programming goals are to bring as much as we can, and we have to just sort of play within the rules of what we can and can't do to make sure that we keep camp as safe as possible. So anything we can do, we're going to do, and more, by the way. That's what's fun. Talent show, of course. We did have talent show last year, so yes, we're going to have that. Camp plays for the campers. Yeah, so Adam, I think, spoke about that earlier. So yeah, in a normal summer, we typically run 2 camp plays. Obviously, because of cohort limitations last year, we couldn't do that. So if we're able to, and there's interest, we're always happy to run plays.
But I will say, we have an incredible creative arts program, and they creatively came up with some different and unique ways for the kids to showcase their talent. We had like fun Disney nights, and one of the highlights was, what was it, like 100 Disney movies in half an hour or something, which was a lot of fun. So they found creative ways to still showcase everyone's amazing talent at camp.
All right, cool. So it's now just after 8 o'clock. For me, it's always very important to be respectful and sensitive to the time commitments that have been made. So I think if there aren't any other specific questions, now is a good time for us to start our wind down here. I will encourage you that if we finish and you think of another question, or you think that we haven't answered something in a way that you find full or complete or satisfactory, please just send us an email. We're happy to dig deeper if we need to help someone. And again, we're really grateful for your confidence and trust in Camp Northland. And we wake up every day thinking about how we're going to not just meet, but exceed that. And we go to bed every night thinking about what we can do better tomorrow for all of you. And Denise just reminded me of one of my favorite expressions about camp. So I'll wrap up with that, which is camp is a place where everybody believes that anything is possible. So I'll leave you with that thought because anything is possible at camp. So thank you for being here. Have a wonderful night. And we're going to be increasing our communication with you as we ramp up into spring and then into camp. So we look forward to seeing everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy. Onward, Northland.